There are plenty of boys' love comics out there, and they are available in multiple languages. By boys' love or BL, it refers to a story that focuses on the romantic relationship of the main couple. But in this video, titles that are not romance-centric but has a gay relationship may be covered. There should be actual hints of a canon relationship at least, not just undertones. So in other words, the focus is Shounen ai, which literally means boys love in Japanese. Titles with explicit and adult scenes, particularly yaoi series, are going to be excluded. If I had mentioned such, either I didn't know or remember it had such content, or it might have had two versions, one of them being for mature readers. We're going to focus on those that had been released in English officially, whether in digital or printed form. Some might have discontinued release though, but I hope they will be released again someday. What I will be recommending to you guys are naturally my personal favorites. If they turn out to be not your type, that's totally fine. I have a feeling that there are favorites that I forgot to include in this list though, but oh well, I'll find out later. And perhaps they can be included in another video. I may also recommend titles that aren't necessarily my favorites though, but don't get me wrong, I do like them. They deserve the fame, so even if they are not among my top favorites, it would be a waste if you miss such series. Lastly, I'm not going to share my recommendations as something like a top 10 list. They shall be grouped by source or format or status instead. I'll be mentioning around 1 to 3 titles per category, but they won't be in any particular order. Let's start with Japanese manga, which I guess is the most popular comics format under the boys love genre. I remember going to a manga store with hallways just focused on BL manga. Anyway, many of them have an anime adaptation. Among the completed ones, Classmates is a good manga, and its movie adaptation did it justice. Antique Bakery is what I consider an underrated classic. Among those which are still ongoing, the only one that I really read these days is Given, but I like its anime adaptation more. I always play the main character's song on endless loop. Sasaki and Miya no has been gaining popularity recently because of its anime adaptation. I'm not a huge fan, but I do find it very cute. This next group is quite uncommon. There are some titles which clearly have gay romance, but the series itself is not really romance-centric. One of them is Kyoukara Mao. The main character is a demon king that has a guy as his fiancé. They even have an adoptive daughter, and it's canon. Another is Hetalia. Maybe it's not that obvious in the anime, but the original webcomic adaptation has comic strips that are, well, for mature readers. Banana Fish is a little debatable. Believe it or not, it's a shoujo action series officially. The main duo acts so much like a couple already, but even if it's not canon, there are still gay themes in it because of one of the main characters' background. My favorite under this group is actually an anime original, but it had a short manga special, so I'm including it in the video. And I'm talking about Yuri on Ice. It's mainly a sports anime and one of the best out there that gave tribute to real ice skaters worldwide. I absolutely adore this series. I was super addicted to buying Victor merchandise before until I became broke. Now for those without an anime adaptation but have a live action adaptation instead, I Hear the Sunspot is a lovely series involving a character who is almost deaf, while 7 Days is a charming classic. Most certified BL fans have heard of it at least. Anyway, this time we'll explore Korean manhwa. Unlike with manga, I think all of them debuted in webtoon format. Among the completed ones, My Darling Signed In, to be honest, is a guilty pleasure. It has full of annoying cliches, but it's a cute and refreshing BL series about modern gamers. Interview with a Murderer is a pretty impressive mystery series. It seems toxic, but surprisingly, it has lots of wholesome stuff too. This group contains titles that are already completed in Korean, but the English versions are not yet available by the time this video is released. I know they are going to end up among my top favorites anyway, regardless of the ending. So, first in this group is Murderous Llewellyn's Enchanting Candlelit Dinner. It's an excellent thriller. The relationship of the main cast looks toxic, but okay, it's like borderline toxic. But the psychological stuff in it is not as unhealthy as the likes of a certain popular webtoon. Anyway, contrary to how it appears, there's a lot of touching and wholesome stuff in it. Then there is Scent of You. The plot may seem ridiculous, but it's actually so funny and wholesome. I adore the otaku main character here. And then, there is this manhwa, which is officially considered as completed, but actually, it was cancelled. I have no idea why that happened to such a good series like Chart of Priests. The latest chapters are kinda depressing, but overall, it's super charming. Oh, I miss this so much, especially the main character's older brother. He's so sexy and sometimes it's hard to determine whether he's an ally or an enemy. Now, among the ongoing manhwa, my latest obsession is Eternal Covenant. It's by the creator of The Sweetest Man, but this one is so much better and prettier. Between the Stars has a main character that is full of amusing expressions and reactions. He reminds me so much of the main character in my S-Class Hunters. They both even have the brother complex. For the next one, I am not yet updated to the latest chapters because this series makes me so sad, but I do love this intriguing historical political drama, and I'm talking about Kingsmaker. I see it labeled as Shounen Ai, but it seems that it has a mature version too. So I guess this is not really yaoi unless you read that other version. The next group shall focus on Chinese manhwa. Among the completed ones, I adore Engraved on My Heart a lot. It's done by the creator of Starting with a Lie, but I love this one so much more. Then, this manhwa called The Secret Tales of a 30-Year-Old Bachelor is surprisingly fluffy and entertainingly cheesy. I love how the angsty stuff quickly ends thanks to comedic and cute scenes. It's so enjoyable to read, it makes me forget stress. Then, among the ongoing ones, Pirouette Into My Heart is full of fluff too. It's nice to see very supportive parents and friends. Body of Crime is a recent discovery. I haven't caught up yet, but I can already feel that this mystery series is going to be addicting. Then there is this super popular manhwa that has an animated version, and I'm referring to Heaven's Official Blessing. I like it better as a donghua or in animated form, but the story is kinda confusing. I think it will be easier to appreciate this series if you had read the novel. For the last group, which aims to focus on titles that are originally released in English, there isn't much to mention since I cannot think of a completed OEL-BL webtoon that I loved a lot. There's one that isn't BL-centric but has a canon gay relationship, and I'm talking about Hookie. If you like magic stuff like Harry Potter anyway, you cannot miss this one. It's among my top favorite webtoons of all time, and the first kissing scene here will certainly make you delighted. Among the ongoing ones, if you don't mind reading stories with polyamorous relationships, Boyfriends is a very entertaining read. Another title which I'm pretty hooked into recently is Night Fragments. It's by the same creator as Path to You, but I find this one more interesting. In case you haven't noticed, I tend to read those with as minimal tragic and toxic stuff as possible. The fluffier and funnier, the better. I like good vibes. Ironically, I'm also a fan of thrillers. They were tough to find, but I managed to find series that can do both, be freaky and adorable at the same time. Anyway, I hope I had helped you discover a new favorite. For those I had forgotten or just can't include in this video or haven't discovered yet, I might share them in another video. So for more videos like this and so that it could spread to more people, likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions will be highly appreciated. See you in the next video. Thanks and take care!